Good evening, everyone. This is KARE PILI, and I will be discussing the first part of our report entitled Lesson 3.3 Curriculum Mapping and Curriculum Quality Audit. And later on, Ms. Madeline Pili will be discussing her part, including the examples of curriculum mapping and the succeeding topics. Let me first give you an insight about our class objectives and goals. So we have defined curriculum mapping and curriculum quality audit. Next, explain the benefits of curriculum mapping and curriculum quality audit. And lastly, familiarize oneself of some examples of curriculum mapping. Have you ever wondered how to pace your lesson so that it will cover a period of time like hours, weeks, quarters, semesters, or the whole year? These lessons will teach us curricularists the importance of curriculum mapping and curriculum quality audit as process in curriculum development. So, what is curriculum mapping? So, according to Hill and Dunlop 2010, curriculum mapping is a model for designing, refining, upgrading, and reviewing the curriculum, resulting in framework that provides form, focus, and function. Curriculum mapping is also a reflective process that helps teachers understand what has been taught in class and how learning outcomes are assessed. This approach is an ongoing process or work in progress. It is not a one-time initiative but continuing action, which involves the teachers and other stakeholders who have common concerns. Curriculum mapping can be done by teachers alone, a group of teachers teaching the same subject, the department, the whole school or districts, or the whole educational system. Curriculum maps are visual timelines that outlines desired learning outcomes to be achieved, content, skills, and values taught, instructional time, assessments to be used, and the overall student's movement toward the attainment of the intended outcomes. Curricular maps may be simple or elaborate, that can be used by any individual teachers, a department, the whole school, or educational systems. A map is geared to a school calendar. Curriculum maps provide quality of control of what taught in schools to maintain excellence, efficiency, and effectiveness. It is intended to improve instructions and maintain quality of education that all stakeholders need to be assured of. Sometimes parents and teachers would ask questions like, why is my friend's son studying decimals in Mr. Bernardo's class, and my own son is not studying the same in Miss Julie's class when they are of the same grade level? Or, why do some of my students recognize the parts of speech while others are totally lost? Parents, teachers, and the whole educational community can look at the curriculum map to see that intended outcomes and content are covered. A map can reassure stakeholders specific information for pacing and alignment of the subject horizontally or vertically. What is alignment? So basically, alignment is a process that ensures coherence and consistency between the intended outcome as specific in the formal curriculum and classroom teaching methods, assessment tasks, and learning activities. Alignment was represented in two ways, the horizontal and the vertical alignment. When we say horizontal alignment guides will make all teachers teaching the same subject in grade level follow the same timeline and accomplishing the same learning outcomes. It also called as pacing guide. This is necessary for state mandate standard-based assessments that we have in schools. Vertical alignment will see to it that concepts development, which may be in hierarchy or in spiral form, does not overlap but building from a simple to more complicated concepts and skills. When a curriculum is vertically aligned or vertically coherent, What students learn in one lesson, course, or grade level prepares them for the next lessons, course, or grade level. Either vertical or horizontal will also develop interdisciplinary connections among teachers and students between and among courses. Teachers can verify that skills and content are addressed in other courses or to higher levels, thus making learning more relevant. A curriculum A curriculum map is always a work in progress that enables the teachers or the curriculum review team to create the curriculum. It provides a good information for modifications of curriculum, changing of standards and competencies in order to find ways to build connections in the elements of the curricula. Subcurricularis would describe curriculum mapping as making a map to success. There are common questions that are asked by different stakeholders like teachers, colleagues, parents, school officials, and the community as well. These are questions may include: what do my students learn? What do they study in the first quarter? What are they studying in the schools throughout the year? What do my co-teachers who handle the same subjects cover the same content, achieve the same outcomes, use similar strategies? How do I help my students understand the connections between the subjects and the other subjects within the year or next year? Curriculum mapping may be able to answer these questions above. Furthermore, mapping will produce a curriculum map which is a very functional tool in curriculum development. We will also go to discuss the benefits of curriculum mapping. First, curriculum mapping ensures alignment of the desired learning outcomes, learning activities, and assessments of learning. And when we say alignment, it is a process aimed at ensuring coherence and consistencies between the formal curriculum's intended outcomes and classroom teaching method, assessment tasks, and learning activities. Building alignment between assessments and learning outcomes also allows you to create and communicate a learning progressions pathway for your students. It allows you to explain what knowledge and skills were expected at the start of the course, as well as what knowledge and skills will be developed throughout the course. Second, curriculum mapping addresses the gaps of repetitions in curriculum. It reveals if certain programs, goals, or learning outcomes are not adequately covered or overly emphasized in the current curriculum. To make new ways of delivering a lessons permanent, every teacher needs repetitions of the practice and ideally active cueing and prompting by another teachers and basic educations. And to address those curricularists must use the curriculum map designing as it helps the gaps to address. It reveals whether or not specific programs, goals, or learning outcomes are adequately covered or overly emphasized in the current curriculum. Third, curriculum mapping verifies, clarifies, and establishes alignment between what students do, their courses, and what is taught in the classroom and assessed as their learning. Fourth, the curriculum maps visually shows important elements of the curriculum and how they contribute to students' learning. The curriculum mapping is like a planner. It indicates the attainable learning outcomes in each content areas. It also clarifies and establishes alignments, what to do in their courses such as activity, assignments, project, other learning assessments. Curriculum maps shown in a graphical form the elements of curriculums and how they contribute to students' learning. A curriculum map is a visual layout of a subject's education standards and the resources that a teacher uses to address those standards in a class. And lastly, we have the number 5 under the benefits of curriculum mapping. Curriculum mapping connects all initiatives from instructions, pedagogies, assessments, and professional development. It also facilitates the integrations of cross-curricular skills. Curriculum mapping was fully aligned to the educational standards and content. It is also organized from instructions, pedagogies, assessments, and professional development. It also facilitates the cross-curricular skills. When we say cross-curricular skills, it involves establishing patterns of information between different academic subjects. It offers a creative way of developing knowledge, understanding, and practical skills through a study of interconnected topics. We come now to the curriculum mapping process. There are many ways of doing things according to what outcomes one needs to produce. This is also true with curriculum mapping. However, whatever outcome of map will be made, there are suggested steps to follow. So we have the example A. Step 1. Make a matrix or spreadsheet. Step 2. Make a timeline that you need to cover, including 1 quarter, 1 semester, or 1 year. This should be dependent on time frame of a particular curriculum that was written. Step 3. Enter the intended learning outcomes skills needed to be taught or achieved at the end of the teaching. Step 4. Enter in the same matrix the content areas or subject areas to be covered. Step 5. Align and name each resources available such as textbooks, workbooks, module next to subject areas. Step 6. Enter the teaching learning methods to be used to achieve the outcomes. Step 7. Align and center the assessment procedure and tools to the intended learning outcomes, content areas, and resources. Step 8. Circulate the map among all involved personnel for their inputs. Step 9. Revise and refine map based on suggestion and distribute to all concerned. These examples of step-by-step process in making curriculum mapping is an examples of component of OBE-inspired syllabus for the higher education. However, this can be modified for basic education to serve the specific purpose as you will see in some maps. So we have here examples of curriculum mapping in basic education under elementary science grade 3. In these examples, we have content standards, performance standards, learning competencies, and learning materials. They also include the timeline or the first quarter or first grading periods. Let us now move forward to the curriculum mapping process for degree program in college. In example B, for a degree program in college, first, make a matrix or spreadsheet. Second, identify the degree or program outcomes such as B.Ed or BSN. Third, identify the subjects or course under the degree. Fourth, list the subjects along the vertical cells of the matrix in a logical or chronological order. Fifth, list the degree program outcomes along the horizontal cell. Use the code as PO1 or PO2 if outcomes are too long to fit in the cell. PO means program outcomes. 6. Cross the subjects and the outcomes, and determine if such subjects accomplishes the outcomes as either learned, performed, or given opportunity. Place the codes in the corresponding cell. 7. Fill up all cells. 8. After accomplishing the math, use it as guide for all teachers teaching the course for students to complete the degree in 4 years. So that's the end of my part of discussion. Thank you for listening.